Well, good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to this edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty. Today, we're going to talk about the Kyrie Irving situation, but I'm going to take it into a different direction. We're going to see beyond and through something deeper, a deeper meaning as it regards to black men and their response to Kyrie Irving and his situation. As we know by now, that Kyrie Irving tweeted a link on his social media page to a movie and a book called From Hebrew to Negroes, which many deem the book and movie to be anti-Semitic. And by the way, the book and movie are one of the same. And we had stars like LeBron James and, the Shaquille O'Neals and the Charles Barkley who spoke very disparagingly towards Kyrie Irving. In fact, calling him out of his name, such as like an idiot. Just listen to them.
Hate to any kind, to any race, to Jewish communities, to black communities, to Asian communities. You guys know where I stand, and it's part of the reason why I didn't air the shop episode, why we kicked that, out of the archives, because it was hate conversation going on there, and I don't represent that. There's no place in this world for it. Nobody can benefit from that. And I believe, what Kyrie did caused some harm to a lot of people. I don't condone that since over the last, I think today or was it yesterday, he apologized. But he caused some harm. And I think it's unfortunate, but I don't stand on the position to harm people when it comes to your voice or your platform or anything. And so it doesn't matter what color your skin is, how tall you are, what position you are in. If you are promoting or soliciting or saying harmful.
And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done. And it hurts me sometimes when we have to sit up here to talk about stuff that divides the game. Now we got to answer for what this idiot has done.
I think you should get suspended or fined. I think him acknowledging the Alex Jones things should have happened with that too, because that dude's crazy. And I can't believe that we ain't talking about that. We're talking about this idiot.
Okay, so as you heard, they came there with a lot of smoke. I mean, it's kind of baffling to me because if you hear Kyrie talk, he doesn't sound idiotic at all. In fact, he has very good dictation, articulation of speech, and he expresses himself very well. Now listen to Kyrie, the one who these men called an idiot.
I was like, you know what, let me see if there are any documentaries on Yahweh. So went in the search bar, typed in Yahweh, that came up. Went out and shared it on my platform. That was my night. In terms of the backlash or what people call it, we're in 2022. History is not supposed to be hidden from anybody. And I'm not a divisive person when it comes to religion. I embrace all walks of life. You see it on all my platforms. I talk to all races, all cultures, all religions. And my response would be, it's not about educating yourself on what Semitism is and what anti-Semitism is. It's really about learning the root words of where these come from and understanding that this is an African heritage that is also belonging to the people. Africa is in it, whether we want to dismiss it or not. So the claims of anti-Semitism and who are the original chosen people of God, and we go into these religious conversations and it's a big no-no. I don't live my way like that. I don't live my life that way. Excuse me. I grew up in a melting pot, and I say a melting pot of all races: white, black, red, yellow, Jewish, Christian, Muslim, and you can see the way I live my life now. I'm not here to be divisive, so they could push their agenda. I don't want to say they, because I'm not identifying any one group or race of people, but I'm in a unique position to have a level of influence on my community. And what I post does not mean that I support everything that's being said or everything that's being done, or I'm campaigning for anything. All I do is post things for my people in my community and those that it's actually going to impact.
Okay, so you heard them. And you heard them speak, right? Well, okay. Anyway, for LeBron James, I would like to know this. What's hateful about what Kyrie said? Or did he say anything hateful? Was there anything hateful in the movie or the documentary from Hebrew to Negroes? And I would like to know, have any of these men seen the documentary? And you have to wonder, why did these men have so much animosity and so much discourse for what Kyrie did? Basically, the only thing he did was tweeted a link to a movie. And to me, that's kind of like saying, I just want to recommend something that you watch. Just go ahead and watch it for yourself. Perhaps you can learn something, perhaps not. But it's something that may benefit you. So tweeting a link is not shoving anything down someone's throat. And to me, that cannot be hate speech. Now, I have not seen the documentary yet. But through all this hoopla, I do plan on buying it. And again, I would like to know, has Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal, LeBron James, have they seen the documentary? And it seems to me that there is a deeper issue going on here as to why they have so much smoke for Kyrie Irving. Even Shannon Sharp in the beginning, he since changed his tune rather, since the outcry came out against it, saying that these 6 things that Kyrie needed to do was a bit too much. But in the beginning, he was talking about, well, Kyrie did make a mistake. He needs to apologize. But for those who are saying he needs to apologize, what does he need to apologize for? Now I want to get into something just a little deeper, where I think there's a hidden meaning as to what these men are doing. And by the way, to the LeBron James, let's go back there. Let's go back to Jeff Bezos. LeBron, Shaquille. Where's the fire for Jeff Bezos? Where's the calling him out? If you're for not spreading hate, if you're for all people getting along, Jeff Bezos owns Amazon. It's still being sold there. You can stream it there. I mean, you can buy it there pretty much. You can buy the book, the documentary at Amazon. So these Charles Barkley, Shaquille O'Neal's, LeBron James, they have nothing to say towards Jeff Bezos. And his company that he owns is actually selling the documentary and book. Don't you find that to be very strange and very telling? So basically it shows that they're not consistent and they're not really true in what they are supposedly believing in. So it tells me that they have some other type of issue with Kyrie. There's something about Kyrie that is bothering them, that makes them feel uncomfortable. And could this be the issue right here? Kyrie Irving refuses to get vaccinated. Well, I shouldn't say that word. I should have said vaccinated with a B, because YouTube. So from now on, because of YouTube, I'm going to say vaccinated. What's best about what's best for me? So do you remember a couple of years back, Kyrie was almost like, I feel, was ready to quit, and he was not going to cave in. So basically, he was steadfast in his beliefs. He was brave. He was courageous. He was bold. He stood for the truth and what he believed in. He didn't waver. He didn't cave in. Now, Kyrie says, confirm he is unvaccinated and explains why he refused to get the jab. all of these other men who I mentioned, they did get vaccinated. All of them caved in. So looking at Kyrie, could that be a very uncomfortable feeling, knowing that this young brother here stood firm, stood fast, didn't cave in, didn't twist and turn with the tide? The public pressure did not get to him. He stood for something, was ready to lose it, but they all caved in? Because even announcers like the Stephen Smiths, the Shannon Sharps, to stay in those booths, to stay working at ESPN, guess what? They had to get the jab. And Kyrie refused it. LeBron James confirms he was vaccinated for COVID-19 months after being initially skeptical. If you can go back a couple of years, LeBron held out for the longest. He did not really want to get it. But finally he did cave in. And he said the reason why is because he wanted to continue his playing career. Now, LeBron at that particular time had between $800 and $900 million in the bank. And I was thinking, wow, if you don't really want to get this done to you, why not just quit? But LeBron caved in, and Kyrie did not. So I'm wondering, looking at someone like that is a reminder of the coward that I am, and how I could have really walked away with my dignity intact and not being a human cushion, being taken part of in some type of experiment that it's been confessed by the Pfizer that they don't really know what the long-term consequences of these jabs are. They really don't know. And it also turns out too that they were never designed to prevent anything. I mean, you can still get it, you can still pass it on. So therefore, a lot of times with men and these so-called heroes right there who caved in and couldn't really stand on their own 2 feet, there could be a jealousy towards Kyrie with that. Because I believe that it goes just a lot deeper than that for the way in which they came at him and the fire that they came at him. It's just telling me that, in my opinion, there was something more other than that documentary that they did not like about Kyrie. Just the idea of looking at Kyrie bothers them. If they were so truthful and like, we don't like this type of hatred, he's spreading it, he's being unfair to people, he's causing division, he's causing racism, blah, 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 then go after Jeff Bezos. Have the same heat and fire for Jeff that you have for Kyrie. Now, I know one of the reasons why is because Amazon, I'm hearing, is getting this so-called big deal with the NBA to stream. But if hate is hate, like you're claiming, division is division, and people are being separated, and you're for bringing people together, then go after Jeff Bezos also. But you won't. So this man's face, to me, bothers him. He's younger, he's good looking, extremely articulate, very well spoken, and the very people who are calling him idiot, I mean, they're not the best speakers. Now, I don't want to talk about people's speaking voice because I'm not the best speaker neither. I'm not the most articulate guy around. But I'll tell you one thing. I'm not going to call someone an idiot. I'm not going to call Kyrie. I'm not going to be jealous of him because he speaks well. I'm not going to hate on him. So with these men right there who are coming after him, now there's a lot more deeper issues than that. They see him, it bothers them. They hear him speak, it bothers them. And by the way, from what I understand, Kyrie is in a committed relationship. Unlike some of these other people who cannot stay committed whatsoever, who lacks discipline, control, and restraint, that could be another factor too. Kyrie is not the type who's going to go out there slutting and whoring around, who can't keep his dick in his pants. These other men here, I mean, they have a hard time doing that. They're not so committed to their partners. It's almost like it's something that they just cannot do. Shaq admits that he was not a good husband or partner to Shawnee O'Neal, that she did nothing wrong, that all the blame goes towards him. So when you have another man like Kyrie in the NBA who's able to have discipline, control, and restraint, he's spiritual, he's able to be faithful to a partner, that's going to create animus among these men. It's not just about the movie. They kind of like were looking for a way to express how they really feel and to get something out towards him. You can't say, yeah, it's a little bit of jealousy going on there. And having more money than Kyrie, a bigger bank account, doesn't mean much. It doesn't. You lack discipline, control, and restraint. You can't be faithful to your wife. You're living a lie to the public. You're not this so-called family man that you portray. You're claiming black love, but yet you're screwing around with a bunch of white girls. No, it's a contradiction right there. And when people are contradictory in their lifestyles, the way they're living, they're not at peace with themselves. They can put on a front. They can pretend. But God sees everything. And some people are able to see through their shenanigans. So I'm saying all this to say this, that we as black men do have a hard time uplifting one another, being happy for one another, supporting one another. And just because you're in the NBA, you're making millions upon millions and sometimes billions, that type of mentality doesn't necessarily leave. It's still there, as you can see with these men right here. These men right here, how old are they? Kyrie's 30 years old. Let's see. LeBron is 37. Shaquille is 50. Shannon Sharp is 54. Stephen Smith is 55. Some of these men are almost old enough to be Kyrie's father, but yet they had to take a stance to pretty much throw him under the bus. When a stance could have been taken that, I don't have that much to say about this particular issue. I don't know that much about it. I have not seen the movie. They could have said that. Because I'm willing to bet you that some of them probably have not seen the movie. So therefore, I would prefer not to comment on the situation. They could have even said that, well, I know Kyrie. I know he's a good man and he's not an anti-Semite like they're claiming. But I would have to speak to him to get a better understanding as to what happened or as to why he posted the link. They could have gone the understanding route. But what they chose to do, they chose to pretty much throw Kyrie under the bus. They pretty much chose to convict him as being an anti-Semite, as being divisive, as being someone who's polarizing, who's not wanting people to come together. They pretty much went that route there. And before I end this, I want you to just take a look at this. It's very telling. A documentary that was done 30 years ago that is still relevant for today.
When black people like me talk to the slaves, they didn't kill him. They sent some old house Negro along behind him to undo what he said. You have to read the history of slavery to understand this. There were two kinds of Negroes. There was that old house Negro and the field Negro. And the house Negro always looked out for his master. When the field Negroes got too much out of line, he held them back in check. He put them back on the plantation. And he lived in a better house. He lived right up next to his master in the attic or the basement. And he loved his master more than his master loved himself. If the master got sick, he'd say, "What's the matter, boss? We sick?" He never wanted his master's property threatened. And he was more defensive of it than the master was. That was the house Negro. And today you still have house Negroes and field Negroes.
And there we go. Much has changed, but little has changed. It's almost like we still have field Negroes and house Negroes. And some who are just so willing to please massa. So there you go with the whole Kyrie situation. That was a different angle, kind of looking deeper into the mentality of these men and why they had such venomous towards Kyrie. So yes, it's a lot deeper than that movie, but hopefully they can dig deeper and to work out whatever issues that they have towards other black men and themselves. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, that is another edition of Seeing Beyond and Through with Monty, and I will see you all beyond and through.